Hello and welcome to CKE 10,000 Wins Gaming Channel. In this video, we'll be looking at my Angel Beats Operation Tornado English deck profile. This deck build runs 15 level 0s, 16 level 1s, 4 level 2s, 7 level 3s, and 8 Climax cards. The first card we're going to take a look at is Battle Meeting Kanade. It has one effect. Continuous. If the number of other characters you have is 1 or less, this card gets 1000 power and the following ability, Hand Encore. So it's a 003500 beater with Hand Encore. I'm running it at 4 copies. The next card I'm running is 2 copies of Memories of the Beat Otanashi. It has one effect, Auto Bond to the Messenger of God, which is the level 1 card, Angel. And it's one of the few ways to plus in this deck. Since there's no plussing combo at level 1 or 0, you rely on the bond to preserve hand size. And then I'm running 2 copies of Strategic Provocation Yuri. It has 2 effects. The first is continuous. The character facing this card gets the following ability. This card cannot side attack. Second is auto. When this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent is level 0 or lower, you may reverse that character. So it's level 0 bomber. And then I'm running 3 copies of the Yuri assist card, Resolve Conflict Yuri. Continuous, all your other death characters get 500 power. Second, auto, when another of your death character becomes reversed in battle, choose one of your character, and that character gets 500 power until end of turn. So it's a assist and a revenge trigger, level 0. Then I'm running 2 copies of Yuri's Invitation to the Battlefront. When this card is placed on stage from hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If the real card is not a death character, put it into your clock. So it's a 003500 beater with the downside. And then 2 copies of Bond of Many Lifetimes Otanashi I'm running as well. It has one effect. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can pay 1, pitch a card. If you do, choose a death character in your waiting room, return to your hand. And this card gets 1000 power until end of turn. And for level 1s, I'm running 2 copies of Yuri's Powerful Draw. It's a 1/1 backup. When you use this card's backup ability, if the number of death characters you have is 2 or more, choose one of your characters in battle, and that character gets X power. X equals to 500 multiplied by your level. So it's an incremental backup. As you level, this backup gets stronger. And its base is backup for 1500 power. So, yeah, I'm running that at 2. And if you don't have the stock to play this backup card, you can always just pitch it for the Hand Encore for the Kanade sending everyone off, which is the next card that I'm running at 2 copies. It has 2 effects. The first is continuous. All of your other death characters get Hand Encore. And second is activate rest this card. Choose one of your characters, and that character gets 1000 power until end of turn. And that act ability triggers the Sheena effect as well. So very useful card. And then both of those acts trigger the Sheena over there. And I'm running 3 copies of the Messenger of God Angel card that you can bond to. It's a 1/17500 beater with a downside effect. When the card is placed on stage from your hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If the reveal card is not a death character, at the beginning of your Encore step, put this card into your waiting room. So you still get to attack it for the turn, so it's not that bad. If the level 1 has the Brainstormers, since there aren't any level 0 Brainstormers in English. I'm running 1 copy of End of Confrontation Kanade. Continuous during your turn, this card gets 1000 power. Second effect is activate Brainstorm, pay 1. And for each climax revealed, you can choose one of your death characters, and that character gets 2000 power until end of turn. So it's a power Brainstormer. And then the other Brainstormer is the Yuri Brainstormer, Yuri's Fearless Gaze. Activate Brainstorm, pay 1. And for each climax revealed, perform the following action. Choose a death character from your waiting room, return to your hand, and choose a card from your hand and put it into the waiting room. So it's not a plussing Brainstormer, just a filtering Brainstormer to salvage. And then next up is the 4 copies of Skilled Martial Artist Sheena. It has one ability, Auto. This ability activates once per turn. When you use an act ability, this card gets 1500 power until the end of turn. So it can be a 1/0 6500 power, and the backup act triggers that effect, and so does the sending everyone off Kanade. Then I'm running 3 copies of the event card Operation Tornado. It's a 1/0 Brainstorm. Flip 3 cards from the top of your deck and put them into your waiting room. Choose a level X or lower death character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. X equals to the number of death characters revealed amongst those cards. So, running this event at 3 copies. Then at level 2, I am running 1 copy of the Sheena Refresh Backup. Highly skilled Sheena. When you use this card's backup, you can pay 2. If you do, return all cards in your waiting room back to your deck and shuffle. Then at level 2, I'm also running 3 copies of Separae's Yuri. It's auto change. At the beginning of your Encore step, if this card is rested, you can pay 1, put a card from your hand into your waiting room, and put this card into your memory. If you do, choose a card named Yuri's Independent Actions in your waiting room and put it on the stage position that this card was on. So it changes it into the level 3 card over there. And then the level 3 card, I'm running 4 copies. It has 2 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand or by change, you may put the top card of your clock into your waiting room so it heals. Second is a climax combo. When this card attacks, if a card named after the battle is in your climax area, you can pay 1. If you do, choose a character in your waiting room, return it to your hand, choose one of your death characters, and that character gets 3,000 power until the end of opponent's next turn. So, helps you plus and get power. So you probably have 2 characters saved that turn. And then next I'm running, let me try to focus in out of there. Next I'm running the other Yuri level 3 at 3 copies. Yuri Nakamura. It has 2 effects. The first is auto. When this card is placed on stage from hand, draw up to 2 cards. Choose a card in your hand and put it into the waiting room. Second is auto. When this card attacks, if a card named Heart of the World is on your climax area, you can deal 1 damage to your opponent, and this card gets 1500 power until end of your opponent's next turn. So, yeah. And then the last 8 cards of the deck are the climax cards. 4 copies of After the Battle for your level 3 change combo. It's a character salvage. And 4 copies of Heart of the World, which is for your finisher 3. In the description below, there'll be a link for EncoreDecks.com to see an overview of this deck build. Next up will be the Japanese deck profile. So now we'll be taking a look at my Operation Tornado Angel Beats Japanese deck profile for 2019. This deck build runs 16 level 0s, 12 level 1s, 5 level 2s, 9 level 3s, and 8 climax cards. So the first card we're going to take a look at is Invitation to the Battlefront, Yuri. I'm running it at 3 copies. It's a 0/0 3500 beater. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is not a death character, put it into your clock. So it's a downside for being a beater card, an oversizer. And then I'm running 2 copies of Lifetime. Okay, Bond of Many Lifetimes Otanashi. It has 1 effect. On play, pay 1 stock, pitch a card. If you do, choose a death character in your waiting room, return to your hand, and this card gets 1,000 power until end of turn. So running that at 2. Then I'm running 2 copies of Always Together, Sakine and Airi. It has a bond effect. On play, pay 1, bond to Cool Beauty Iwasawa. And it's one of the few ways to maintain hand advantage in this deck. Since there's no plus in combo, you just have to rely on bond. And then the Japanese version does have a Brainstormer that we use. A Diversion Squad on the front, Yui. It has 2 effects. First is when a climax is placed in your climax area, you can choose one of your characters and that character gets 1,000 power. Second is activate, pay 1, rest this card for Brainstorm, and then for each climax revealed, search your deck for up to 1 death character. So that's the Brainstormer. Then I'm running 3 copies of this 3,500 Yui beater card. When this card attacks, reveal top card of your deck. If the revealed card is a climax, this gets minus 3k. So a little risky, but it helps make yellow count. And then I'm running 3 assists. Resolved Conflict Yuri. Continuous, all your other death characters get 500 power, and has a revenge trigger for 500 power to give to death characters. So running this at 3 copies. And then at level 1, we're running 4 copies of Operation Tornado. 1-0 event, brainstorm, flip over 3 cards from the top of your deck and put them into waiting room. Choose 1 level X or lower death character in your waiting room, return to your hand. X equals to the number of death characters revealed among those cards. And then in the JP deck profile, I'm running 3 copies of the Skilled Martial Artist Sheena. It has auto. This ability activates once per turn. When you use an act, this card gets 1500 power until end turn. So you can trigger that effect using the Kanade, sending everyone off. And then I'm running 2 copies of Guitar Performance Iwasawa. Its ability is when this card becomes reversed, you can pay 2, send this card to memory. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 death character. So this is another way of getting cards into your hand if you have the resources to pay it. So you usually use that to get the 2, and the 2 can change into the 3. But the bond at level 0 can also get the 2. And then next up at level 1 is we have 2 copies of Sending Everyone Off Kanade. It has 2 effects. The first is continuous. All your other death characters get hand encore. And then it has an act. Rest this card. Choose one of your characters, and that character gets 1000 power until end of turn. And I'm running 1 tech copy of the, I believe, trial deck card. Model Student Kanade. During your turn, this card gets 500 power for each of your other death characters. So it's really big on your turn, and if your opponent reverses it, you can always resurrect it again using Sending Everyone Off. And I'm running 1 copy of Yuri Managing SSS. When this card attacks, if the character facing the card is level 3 or higher, this card gets 6000 power and it has hand encore. And then this is the highly skilled Sheena backup. When you use this card's backup effect, you can pay 2 stock. If you do, return all cards in your waiting room to your deck. So it's like prevents refresh damage. And then I'm running 3 copies of Cool Beauty Iwasawa. When a card named Memories of Glendemo is placed on your climax area, you may put this card into your memory. If you do, choose a card named Realizing a Dream Yui in your hand and put it on the stage position that this card was on. So you can change into a level 3 through a climax card combo. And the climax card is a 2k draw climax over there. And then I'm running 3 copies of Warm Feeling Kanade. It has 3 effects. The first is if the number of climaxes in your waiting room is 2 or less, this gets -1 level. Second effect is during your turn, this card gets 500 power for each of your other death characters. Third is auto. This ability activates once per turn. During the turn, this card is placed on stage from hand. When damage is cancelled by this card, you can deal 1 damage to your opponent, where X equals to the card's level +1. And I'm running 2 copies of Yuri Defying an Unreasonable Fate. 2 effects. Character facing this gets -1 soul. Second effect is when the card attacks, you can pay 4. If you do, choose up to 4 characters. 4 other characters, put them into waiting room, deal X damage to your opponent. X equals the number of characters put into the waiting room with this effect. And the damage can still be cancelled. And then I'm running 4 copies of Realizing a Dream Yui. It has 3 effects. The first is if the number of music characters in your memory is 2 or more, this gets 1k power. Second effect is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, you may put the top card of your clock into your waiting room. Third effect is when this card attacks, if a card named Memories of Glendemo is in your climax area, all your death characters get 3500 power until end of turn. So the idea is to get this onto play at level 2 and hope it survives the turn, so you maintain field presence. And then the last 8 cards are the climax cards. I'm running 4 copies of After the Battle, just for the salvage, character salvage, and 4 copies of Memories of Glendemo, which is the climax combo for your level 2 to change into your 3, and then your 3 to get power off it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, check EncoreDecks.com and the link in the description below to see a deck overview.